So in this video, we are going to be talking about how blood flows through the heart, and this is the model I am going to be using to describe that. And literally, we know that the heart is made up of four chambers, which is the right atrium, the right ventricle, the left atrium, and the left ventricle. So the heart is located in this part of the body. It has the apex and it has the broad part. The apex part is the one that is pointing downwards, while the broad part is literally something we can already see. So like I said, the heart is made up of four chambers, which is the right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium, left ventricle. So any part that is blue, any vessel that is appearing blue here is carrying deoxygenated blood. That is a blood that has little or no oxygen. While the red part is carrying oxygenated blood, that's meaning that it's kind of carrying blood away from the heart to different parts of the body. So the heart is made up of three major layers, which is the epicardium or pericardium, which is the outermost layer of this heart. We also have the myocardium, which is the middle layer of the heart. We also call it the muzzle of the heart. That is literally what does the work of the, or let's say that is what does the pumping action. While we also have the endocardium, which is the innermost part of the heart that prevents blood from sticking into the walls of the heart, like you can see now. So like I said, the heart, which is made up of four major chambers, which is the right atrium, the right ventricle, the left atrium, the left ventricle. So now, how does blood flow through the heart? First, blood will enter into the heart from the superior vena cava and the inferior vena cava. If you remember your anatomical terms, anything that is superior means that it's up, while anything that is inferior means that it's down. So the superior vena cava and the inferior vena cava, which are the two large veins, carry blood from the upper extremities and lower extremities respectively. The superior vena cava carry blood from the brain, from the neck, from the face, down into the heart through the right atrium, while the inferior vena cava carry blood from the down extremities, the abdomen, the pelvis, etc. into the heart. So when the blood finally enters the right atrium from the superior vena cava and the inferior vena cava, the right atrium will contract and push the blood into the right ventricle. So the valve that is between the right atrium and the right ventricle, which is called the tricuspid valve, will shut to prevent the backflow of blood into the right atrium. So now the blood at the right ventricle will contract and push it into the pulmonary artery. Remember, I told you that any vessel that is appearing blue here means that the blood is deoxygenated. So you can simply say that the blood at the right side of the heart is deoxygenated, while the blood at the left side of the heart is oxygenated because it's kind of coming out from the lungs, meaning that it went into the lungs for it to be oxygenated again. So and literally we have two types of circulation. We have the pulmonary circulation and we have the systemic circulation. The pulmonary circulation is when the right side of the heart is pushing the blood into the lungs for it to become oxygenated, while the systemic circulation is when the left side of the heart is carrying the blood around the systems of the body. So the blood at the right ventricle will push into the pulmonary artery. Now the pulmonary artery will divide into the right and left side to push the blood into the right and left lungs for it to be oxygenated. So where it is targeting is at the alveoli of the lungs, where it modifies into what we call capillaries for easy gas exchange. So the alveoli will give the capillary oxygen, while the capillary gives out carbon dioxide, so you can easily breathe it out. So the vessel will come back to the heart as the pulmonary vein. And the pulmonary vein we have is four. We have two here, and we also have two here. So they are kind of pushing the blood into the left atrium. Now the blood at the left side of the heart is of greater pressure because of the presence of the oxygen. So the blood at the left atrium, literally what happens at this side of the heart will also happen here. So the left atrium will contract and push the blood into the left ventricle. There is also a valve between the left atrium and the left ventricle, which is called, sorry you can't see the valve here, but I'm going to display it on screen if you can see it here. So there's a valve between the left atrium and the left ventricle called the bicuspid valve or mitral valve that prevent blood from going back to the left atrium. Blood coming from the left atrium will enter the left ventricle as the left atrium contracts. So like I said, the same thing that happens at the right part of the heart will also happen at the left side of the heart. So it might interest you to know that as the right atrium is contracting, the left atrium is also contracting. So everything is happening at the same time. So as the right atrium is contracting, pushing blood to the right ventricle, the same time the left atrium is contracting and pushing blood to the left ventricle. So the left ventricle is the thickest chamber of the heart that will eventually push the blood to the aorta. Remember I said any vessel that is appearing red means that it's oxygenated. So we have the ascending aorta and the descending aorta that will push the blood to different parts of the body. So like I said, we have the ascending aorta and we have the descending aorta. So imagine the aorta as a tree with branches that sends down blood to different parts of the body and sends it to different organs through the branches. So that is literally what the aorta does. And it might interest you to know that the vein carry deoxygenated blood except for the pulmonary vein that carry oxygenated blood from the lungs into the left atrium, while the artery carry oxygenated blood except for the pulmonary artery that sends deoxygenated blood into the lungs for it to become oxygenated. So if you have any question at all, you can drop into the comment section. I promise to reply to them. Thank you.